Najua tulikuwa kule Dadabasa, pia tukakuwa kule Kena, tumekuwa kule Isiru Town, leo tuko hapa. Na mimi nasema ya kwamba nitakuwa, Mungu akinisaidia, nimepanga kupitia viongozi wenu safari nyingi zaidi hapa Isiru, ili ile kazi imebaki tuikamilishe.
Safi, karibu tena mtazamaji, hapa ni Bonita Media na kama kawaida kwa majina naitwa Boniface Owino. Kwanza kabisa wacha niwashukuru sana, naona tunaingia 8,000, jambo nzuri sana. That is a very good step that we have taken. Na nashukuru sana. Sasa kwenye video hii mtazamaji, kwanza ningependa kuwashukuru wale ambao wamenipa support na iwapo tunakutana kwa mara kwanza pila vile vile ningeomba uchukue sekunde yako moja maza kwa mbili uende hapo chini kwenye sehemu ya kwa subscription, subscribe, alafu pia hapo chini kwenye sehemu ya maoni unaweza kuniambia maoni yako ni gani na unatazama video hizi ukiwa wapi. Na vile vile pia unaweza kuniambia ni nini hasa inapaswa kufanya ili wakati wote upate ujumbe jinsi ambavyo inastahili, wakati ambapo inastahili na kwa njia mwafaka. Kwenye video hii mtazamaji, niko na jambo moja ambalo ningependa nilizungumzie, lakini kabla ya hapo ningependa kusema kwamba wajua huwezi ukaboeka Kenya. Kama kuna pale ambapo huwezi ukaboeka ni Kenya mtazamaji. Naomba usikize hii video ndio tuendelee na mazungumzo.
Najua tulikuwa kule Dadabasa, pia tukakuwa kule Kena, tumekuwa kule Isiru Town, leo tuko hapa. Na mimi nasema ya kwamba nitakuwa, Mungu akinisaidia, nimepanga kupitia viongozi wenu safari nyingi zaidi hapa Isiru, ili ile kazi imebaki tuikamilishe. Kwa hivyo hapa siku ya leo nikiwa hapa nishukuru.
Basi bila shaka mtazamaji, kwenye video hii ningependa kuzungumza, kuna jambo ambalo nilisikia Gachagua akitamka akisema jana wakati ambapo walikuwa na interview. Gachagua alizungumza kuhusu Moses Kuria pamoja naye Kabogo. Na hapo ndo ningependa tuzungumzie sana kwa sababu Kabogo ni CS wake William Samoei Ruto. Alafu Moses Kuria ni advisor. Sasa nataka tuangalie hawa watu wawili, Kabogo na Kuria. Gachagua anasema kwamba kama kuna mtu ambaye ana maarifa, ana akili nzuri, a very smart person, ni Moses Kuria. Kujaribu kuangalia Kuria hata mambo yake ambaye hata okay, in as much as umejua wengine wakati mwingine mtu anaweza kuwa anakunywa pombe, lakini huyu mtu mkiketi naye chini akueleze jambo, utaona kweli ili jambo lila make sense. Ushaelewa? Sasa kitu ambacho kinafanyika kama kitu ambacho kimetendeka, nimemsikia Gachagua anajaribu kusema kwamba Kabogo, na by the way kusema kweli, tangia Kabogo aingie afisini amefanya jambo gani la maana ambalo tunaweza kusema kwamba huyu kama CS of ICT amefanya jambo, kama sio kuenda tu mikutano kutupigia picha, mara sijui yuko wapi, mara sijui anapanga mikutano gani. Hilo ndo jambo ambalo huyu jamaa amekuwa kilifanya. Mimi sijaiona Kabogo akifanya jambo la maana sana ama jambo kubwa kabisa. Sijaiona. Labda kama umeona unaweza kuniambia kwenye sehemu ya maoni. Sasa mtazamaji, ningependa wewe mwenyewe utazame video hii na mengine kwa sababu kuna baadhi ya mambo ambayo Gachagua alizungumzia jana hapo kwenye KTN. Alafu baadaye niachie maoni yako kwenye sehemu ya maoni mtazamaji, na ningependa pia tukutane kwenye video ambayo inafuata ikiwezekana.
Moses Kuria is one of our most bright leaders from the Mount Kenya region, and today he is in problems. When Moses Kuria was Minister for Trade, he is the one who started the county aggregation and industrial parks. A brilliant idea. Since they removed him from there, that project is stuck. And when I asked President why he is sacking him, he said that he's a thief. You know? So today I'm wondering, I have seen Moses Kuria is being auctioned. If Moses Kuria had stolen anything from anybody, how come he has nothing? He has no money to pay his debts. You know? And I knew, you know, the issues that took place in Kenya National Trading Corporation, KNTC. The procurement was done in State House. And when they brought edible oil and rice and there was a scandal, they wanted to push it to Moses Kuria and another lady called Pamela who has been taken to court. And they have used this thing to intimidate Moses Kuria, that they can open, trumped up charges against him. But I really want to ask a question. I was asking myself, If the way the president told me he removed Moses Kuria as minister because he was corrupt, how come today that Moses Kuria, today the court allowed his things to be auctioned? If he had money he had stolen from the ministry, he would be able to pay his debts. Again, the president did not want any leader from the mountain who has a brain, who is principled, and who can do anything. That is why he got rid of Gachagua, Moses Kuria, Methekali Nturi, Justin Muturi.
You're talking about Moses Kuria, who's the economic advisor to the president.
I am saying you cannot remove.
So he's not getting rid of.
You cannot get a man as minister and make him an advisor. That is a joke. It's like chasing away a wife and making him a maid in your house. It's very disrespectful.
Okay.
But I want to say,
yes,
Moses Kuria, you cannot replace Moses Kuria with William Kabogo. It's an insult to the people of Kiambu and the people of the mountain. Moses Kuria is a brilliant mind, and I can tell you this idea of Kipes that Moses Kuria came up with. Had the president allowed him to stay as minister for investment, trade, and industry, today those things will be working, and we will not be having the situation we are having with avocado, with carrots, with potatoes. But because he's a brilliant mind, he had to be edged out and given some peripheral job there, advise me on this and that. And Moses Kuria cannot advise William Ruto. William Ruto takes no advice. The impunity, when 35 women and their children were in a church in Kiamba, and goons went and touched them inside the church. And when they tried to save the children, they say, let us die, but let the children not die. They removed the children through the window. These goons took the children back to the church and burnt them. What happened yesterday, the message it has sent to the mountain, is that the same people who had the impunity to burn Kiaba church and people inside are back, and we are noting, we are observing, and it has brought a lot of emotions. These are wounds that people wanted to be healed and forgotten. These are some of the things that our people had forgiven, but they have brought them back. The minute you said goons inside a church to kill Gachagua and to kill Christians, you automatically bring the memories of Kiamba Church and what these people did to our community in Kiamba.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, we'll definitely try and reach out to the Madeira Member of Parliament, Wamombe, to get his side of the story, because you've made allegations touching on him. But briefly, your analysis of the relationship between the church and the state as we finish off on this matter, because you were part of the Kenya Kwanza administration that used the church to rise to presidency. You've said previously, as you were deputy president, that the church and the state are the same thing. You take care of the same people. So do you hold the same views in regard to...
Yes, we do. And that is why the church, as the conscience of the nation, must also be left to play a role. Now that the government has captured the opposition, now that the government has captured parliament, the church must speak for the people, because we serve the same people. And they also want the improvement of the welfare of the Kenyan people. So let the church speak. Let the church be allowed an opportunity to comment on what is going on. Let us not, persecute the church, because I heard some politicians saying, let the church leave the politics to us. There's nothing like that.
Okay.
The church leads people. Probably before we come to that, he said I fight small people. I don't fight anybody. He says that I was fighting Farouk Kibet. Farouk Kibet is not a small man. He is a co-president in this country. Farouk Kibet runs the government. Everybody reports to him. The Inspector General of Police, the head of public service, cabinet ministers. William Ruto issues instructions to cabinet ministers through Farouk Kibet. Ministers tremble at his very sight. So, Farouk Kibet wanted to give instructions to Rigathi Gachagua. Rigathi Gachagua was elected by the people of Kenya alongside William Ruto. There is no way I would have allowed Farouk Kibet to give instructions to me. And let me tell you, Rogers, Farouk Kibet was trying to run my office, make appointments for people to come and see me. And initially, I thought it's okay, maybe that's how William Ruto wants us to work. until I learned that Farouk Kibet was collecting money from people to come and see me, and I have nothing to give them in return. And I went and I told the president, Mr. President, I'm your principal assistant. Please, your personal assistant cannot give me instructions. And if you want to give me any instructions, you give them yourself and I obey them to the letter. But you cannot use your PA to order me around. And your PA is taking advantage to make money from people. And I told you, Mr. President, for your information, because I'm your advisor in this matter, I will be failing in my duty if I don't advise you and tell you what is happening.
Okay.
All the people Farouk Kibet is clearing to come and see you, he's collecting money. And there's hue and cry in town. And you, State House is getting very disrespected because it has become a center of corruption. All appointments of people coming to see you, Kibet is collecting money. And Mr. President, I think you need to check this. But if you want to continue with it, tell him to keep off my office. He is not going to make appointments in my office, and he cannot tell me whom to see.
So can you substantiate this? Farouk Kibet is not here to defend himself.
But the president raised the matter. Are you asking me for an answer?
Yes.
See, I must give you an answer.
But
I'm not the one. I've never raised that issue.
Okay.
It's the president who raised the matter. I'm answering
just
to the people of Kenya.
countering what you've said.
But I'm
You've
saying,
said that he's the one.
But I'm saying, Rogers, the president said that I'm fighting with small people. The answer is that Farouk Kibet is not a small person.
So you're fighting big people. Fine.
I was not fighting big people.
Yes.
I was telling the president, I'm elected. I'm not going to take instructions from your personal assistant. And I'm not going to allow him to push corruption in my office. If you want him to practice corruption in your office, you can go ahead.
But you just said he was collecting money for people to meet with you.
I learned. The few people he had asked me to see. Later on, I heard noise in town that people are going to see the deputy president. Farouk has collected money on his behalf and he's not doing anything for us. That is when I got alarmed. I faced Kibet and he told me off. He said, I must make money. Hii serikali tumetafuta, mimi nimeumia na William Ruto miaka mingi. And actually when I talked to the president about Farouk Kibet, he said, wewe achana na Farouk, atafute pesa kidogo ya kukula bana. Hii mtu ameumia na mimi miaka mingi, akipata hapa kidogo kidogo yuko makosa gani? So I'm telling you, when the president said that I'm fighting small people, that is a man who is running the country, you know? And everybody trembles. I'm the only man who will tell him off.
Okay.
When he says that I'm fighting small people, I don't know, Itumbi. You can see the things he was writing about me. And Dennis Itumbi is the chief propagandist for William Ruto. Again, he's not a small man. This government of William Ruto is run by Itumbi and Farouk. This Itumbi, all these statements you see ministers issuing, like the one DCI has issued about the violence yesterday in Mweki. It's Dennis who crafts them. He crafts the messages, and you can see even that is language. He gives them to read. And my problem with that so-called small man is that they work in cohort with the president. And he hangs around State House. And if you have a discussion with the president and he doesn't like the way it is going, he sends him a text, and Dennis walks into the president's office and says, Mr. President, you are late for the next meeting. And the president brings the meeting to a closure. I had not realized that until I studied. I saw there is a pattern. And anytime I had many issues with the president that were not pleasant, I would face him and say, this is not right, this is not good, and I would win the argument, and he doesn't like it, and he would like to bring a meeting to a closure. Somehow Dennis walks in, and I saw a pattern. So one day, we were launching, the president was going to sign, he was going to sign the housing levy law, bill into law. And I was with the president in his office, the two of us, and I had a very hot conversation with him. And I was telling Mr. President, Kenyans are not interested in affordable housing. And people are very unhappy about the taxation. And Mr. President, only a fool doesn't change his mind. Let us look this thing. And please, from the feedback I'm getting from the ground, and Mr. President, I was elected with you. I mean, it's my job to tell you what the people are saying. And since we are elected together on a joint ticket, when I see we are going down and I don't tell you, it is not fair. Then when we were just continuing, I think he took a phone, Itombe comes. And he said, Mr. President, we need to go. And I told Itombe, my friend, next time you interrupt me when I'm with the president, you know who I am. Get off. I am the deputy president. I was elected with the president here. Who are you to come and interrupt our discussion? Do you know what we are discussing? The president just looked and said, I think we go. Okay? So that is how I raised that issue. You know, and I told him, Mr. President, how do you get these people to come and interrupt a meeting with your deputy all the time? So that those are the issues he was saying.
Well noted.
I was fighting.